My wife said marriage is unpaid labor, so I made her labor for her own paycheck. Invoice delivered as requested. Update 4. I pulled out a piece of paper I'd been working on all week. These are the new household agreements. You can read them, sign them, or find somewhere else to live. She took the paper with trembling hands. As she read, I could see her processing each point. Monthly appreciation acknowledgement, where you verbally recognize 3 things I contributed to our household that week. No more taking my efforts for granted. She nodded slowly. No more feminist blog articles or online groups that teach you to view our marriage as oppression. You want relationship advice? We'll get it from a real counselor, not internet activists. Another nod. Complete transparency about your online activities. I want to know what you're reading and who you're talking to about our relationship. Her eyes widened at that one, but she kept reading. And finally, if you ever again suggest that our marriage is unfair or that you deserve payment for being my wife, this arrangement ends immediately. No second chances, no discussions, no negotiations. I'm not punishing you. I'm protecting myself. You showed me that you're capable of turning our entire relationship into a weapon, when you don't feel appreciated enough. I'm not going to let that happen again, and if I sign this, then we go back to being partners instead of business associates. No more itemized bills, no more service charges, no more keeping score, but also no more taking each other for granted. What about my debt to you? The money I owe? Consider it forgiven. Call it a one-time write-off for educational purposes. She picked up the pen with shaking hands, but before she could sign, I stopped her. Read it again. Make sure you understand what you're agreeing to, because if you sign this and then break it, we're done permanently. She read through the agreement twice more slowly. When she finally signed her name, her hand was steady. But I wasn't done yet. One more thing. You're going to call your sister right now and thank her for talking sense into you. Then you're going to make dinner tonight, not because you owe me anything, but because you want to do something nice for your husband. I'm so sorry I let those people convince me that you were my enemy. But don't apologize to me, I said, standing up. Apologize to yourself. You almost threw away a good marriage because strangers on the internet told you to. The conversation was short, but genuine. Then she went to the kitchen and started preparing dinner for the first time in 2 weeks. As I watched her cook, I realized something important. This wasn't just about winning an argument or proving a point. This was about establishing the kind of relationship where both people understood their value and respected each other's contributions. She'd learned that marriage wasn't unpaid labor. It was paid labor with benefits, security, and partnership that no amount of money could buy. And I'd learned that sometimes you have to be willing to lose everything to save what really matters. 6 months later, I can honestly say that our marriage is stronger than it's ever been. But it didn't happen overnight, and it wasn't always smooth sailing. The first few weeks after she signed the agreement were like watching someone detox from a drug. She'd catch herself mid-complain about household tasks, stop and actually think about what she was saying. Old habits die hard, especially when they've been reinforced by an echo chamber of online validation. Or, I appreciate that you fixed the sink. But I wasn't accepting surface-level gratitude. Be specific, I'd tell her. What exactly did I do and how did it benefit you? Instead of generic thanks, she was saying things like, when you spent 3 hours researching and comparing insurance plans to save us $400 a year, it showed me that you care about our financial security. Or, the way you handled that difficult conversation with your mother about holiday plans protected me from family drama while still maintaining relationship. The ban on feminist relationship content was harder for her to accept initially. She tried to argue that she was just reading articles, not implementing their advice. But I'd seen how those articles poisoned her thinking, turning every normal marriage interaction into evidence of oppression. Find me one article from those sites that encourages women to appreciate their husbands, I challenged her. Just one piece that says maybe the man in your life is doing his best and deserves recognition. She couldn't, because those platforms don't make money from content that promotes gratitude and partnership. They profit from outrage and victimhood. Real books written by actual therapists and researchers, not anonymous bloggers with an agenda. Books that talked about mutual respect, shared responsibility, and building each other up instead of tearing each other down. The transparency requirement was the most eye-opening part of the entire process. Not because she was hiding anything serious, but because it showed her how much negativity she'd been consuming without even realizing it. I never noticed how many of these posts are just women complaining about their husbands, she told me one evening, scrolling through her social media feed. It's like a contest to see who can make their partners sound the worst. And what does that do to your mindset when you come home to me? It makes me look for problems instead of solutions. It makes me focus on what you're not doing instead of what you are doing. She stopped walking around the house like she was documenting grievances for a future lawsuit. She started noticing and commenting on positive things. When I'd work late to finish a project, instead of complaining about me not helping with dinner, she'd thank me for providing stability for our family. But the real test came when her old friend group tried to pull her back into the victim mentality. It was a Saturday afternoon and she was having lunch with 3 of her girlfriends. I wasn't eavesdropping, but our kitchen window was open and they were sitting on the patio right outside. You've been so different lately, one of them said. You used to understand how hard it is to be married to a man who doesn't appreciate you. Now you can watch the 5th part by pressing share and